All right, what's going on, guys? It's GSR here. So basically, I wanted to talk to you guys today about how, they can possibly fix Johnny Cage. Now, I'm not telling you guys that this is what they can do, but I'm just throwing some ideas out there and stuff like that to make Johnny Cage, quote unquote, more fair. Because apparently, Johnny Cage is just this overpowered piece of shit all of a sudden, So it is what it is. I don't care if people think that I'm downplaying the character or whatever the case may be. I just think it's funny because nobody was really fucking with this character in the beginning. Like, I remember nobody was really fucking with it except for certain high-level players and certain people on YouTube that have YouTube channels. But when I go online, there was barely anybody using Johnny Cage at all. And now when I get online, it's a shit ton of people using Johnny Cage because he's considered to be S tier, right? So I just, I know what the deal is with the Mortal Kombat community, or a good portion of people. You only pick characters that are told to be strong, you know what I mean? So I know what the deal is with some of you motherfuckers. You ain't slick. But anyway, I digress. So the first thing that I would do to fix Johnny Cage is his 1-2-4 string, right? You can either make it to where you can flawless block it to where he's like -12 on block or some shit like that for going for a plus situation, or you can make it to where you can neutral crouch and you can get an uppercut crushing blow. And if you look at Johnny Cage's recovery when he whiffs the last hit of his combo string, it's 29 frames. So you can easily neutral crouch, get a full combo punish. For most characters, that's an easy crushing blow. Now the mind game is that he has a high mid mind game here where you have to guess on whether or not he's going to go for his nut punch or he's going to go for a plus situation. So the decision is in your hands, right? His reward is high, just like your reward is high, because you can get a crushing blow, you can punish him every single time. So there's a balance here, right? Same thing when it comes to this situation right here, right? What else is there? When it comes to his rising star, I mean, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm a little confused why they made it to where he lost the defensive bar, because it doesn't really matter, because I can easily backdash and fuck you up. If you try to challenge me with your best far-reaching armor, I could possibly hit you with an Abare very easily. You know what I mean? Or I could make a good read and just block correctly and flawless block you, or whatever the case may be, and get out of a bad situation. So, I mean, I guess you could keep it like that, or you could put a flawless block gap in it, I guess. But, I mean, Johnny Cage is playing the game's meta, unlike a huge portion of the characters in the game that literally are playing a totally different game. Sub-Zero, Gears, should I keep going? So, yeah, I think these are like the main things that I would do to fix Johnny Cage. Other than that, I don't see a problem with this character. There's a good amount of characters in this game that have a 9-frame mid, and there's people on their YouTube channels complaining like little bitches because he has a 9-frame mid that happens to be -14 on block if he staggers it. And when he goes for this, he loses a defensive bar. But the thing is, like, should he have a flawless block gap in it? I mean, to a certain degree, yeah. Because, I mean, he could still challenge you, and about time you lose your turn or he takes his turn back, I mean, his defensive bar comes right back. So I mean, I guess you could put a flawless block gap in it, but to say that he shouldn't have a 9-frame mid, that's bullshit. I'm just telling you guys that right now. For anybody that's saying that on your YouTube channel, you're full of shit. Simple plain as that. You're full of shit. You have Liu Kang in this game that can literally zone you the fuck out. Then when you finally feed to temptation because you're tired of playing the zoning game with him, because he can zone you the fuck out, because he covers a huge area of the stage, the air, the high area, and the low area, guess what the fuck happens? He can fight you up close, and he has really good staggers and really good mind games with his Chinese warrior strength. So I don't want to hear that excuse about, oh, he doesn't need a 9-frame mid. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not trying to hear that lame ass excuse anymore. I'm sick of people trying to like just fuck up Johnny Cage when he's playing the game's meta, you know what I mean? But when it comes to other characters like Sub-Zero, and you talk about that nigga and his bullshit ass 50-50 that needs a nerf on it, right? Where he should be -12 or -13 on block. Nobody want to talk about that nigga. Then some nigga had the audacity to complain about a nigga shadow kick when you got Sub-Zero that has an 11-frame slide that goes underneath high projectiles. He can switch sides with you, and he has a bullshit crushing blow that gives him unbelievable amounts of damage. Then he can just knock your ass down on the fucking ground and then start up his Oki from there. You know what I mean? And people want to talk shit about Johnny Cage when you can easily neutral crouch underneath his fucking shadow kick, like it's unavoidable or some shit like that. Like, it's, come, you know what? I'm not gonna go down that road. I'm not gonna go back down to my old self where I'm getting angry and ranting and shit like that. I'm trying to be positive. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep forward, but I just think it's funny how people can be really biased and not really talk about other characters, but people want to jump on Johnny Cage's case completely. It's okay if you say that, yo, maybe he should have a flawless block gap in his string. I'm okay with that. That's cool. But when you try to bash the character, oh, he can stagger this, he can stagger this, so what? There's characters in the game that can stagger a shit ton of stuff in this game and throw you off of it. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, but nobody want to talk about Cabal, though. Nobody want to talk about Cabal's little no gap having ass. At least with Johnny Cage, you can neutral crouch and punish him because some of his strings that happen to be strong happens to be highs. The only way he can get you to respect is by hitting you with a down 4 constantly to where he can jail you with a 4-3-4-4 and create that mind game with his forward 4. But you know what? I'm not going to go all the way into that. Like I said, I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to do it because I think it's kind of bullshit how people were kind of jumping on Johnny Cage's case. I remember nobody was really fucking with Johnny Cage except for certain high-level players and certain YouTubers that I saw on YouTube. Now, all of a sudden, since he's considered to be S tier, now all of a sudden people are starting to use his character. So, you know, I just think that shit's kind of funny. I just think it's kind of funny. But overall, this is exactly what the fuck I would do with Johnny Cage. I mean, I guess you could put a flawless bite gap in this if this would make anybody fucking happy. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to... what else is there? When it comes to his plus situation, like I said, you can make it to where you can neutral crouch it and then whiff punish him, but you have to keep in mind that if you do neutral crouch, he can go for a nut punch, but if you do block him in the correct direction, he is minus 14 on block, where a huge majority of the characters in the game can get an easy crush and blow. So say, for example, Gears took it upon himself to, you know, block correctly, right? He knew I was going to go for this, right? So he just sits here and he does a neutral crouch. If Gears blocks this correctly, right, watch what happens. Easy crush and blow. You see that? Problem solved. You see that? But if you guess wrong, now you're going to get restand possibly or put into a brief combo. And keep in mind, I'm not going to get crazy amounts of damage mid-screen at all. As you can clearly see here. Now, there is a certain combo you could do against big characters in this game to where you can go for your 4-3 like this, and then you can go directly for Johnny Cage's 1-2-1 string. But you have to precisely time it. Just like that. See that? And then he can get an easy 26% damage. So he's not getting crazy amounts of damage, but when he gets you into the corner, that's when shit's about to get spicy, because now he can do whatever he wants and he can get like a good amount of damage and shit like that. But you guys kind of get the idea with this. Other than that, when it comes to his projectiles, there are characters in the game that can teleport. There are characters that can reflect this. There are characters like Cassie Cage where she can go for her annoying ass kneecapping move and she can go underneath this nigga's projectile and knock him the fuck down. There are certain ways that you can get in. I've already explained that back in the past. I don't think there's anything else to add about this. I mean, you could make the startup time a little bit more slower, at least in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. But overall, this is pretty much everything that I would do to Johnny Cage. Other than that, he should not be touched whatsoever. Leave the nigga completely alone. It's already bad enough that he can't necessarily get this crushing blow to actually come out. I do believe this crushing blow should be changed into a counter or a punish to where he gets 30%, because you have characters in this game that get well over 30%. So I don't know why this isn't a counter slash punish. This is something that should be changed on Johnny Cage. And when it comes to his crushing blow with his parry, that needs to be changed, or you should change it to a shadow kick. Something along those lines. I'm not saying make it to where it's super overpowered, but I do believe Johnny Cage should have something like this, and that's just my opinion, right? So that's just how I feel about it. I prefer to have this as a counter slash punish. That's just how I feel about the situation, and that's pretty much everything that I would change on Johnny Cage. I don't know how you guys feel about this. We can have a conversation about it in the comment section down below. I just think it's kind of ironic how people can jump on Johnny Cage but not talk about other characters in the game, you know, that should have a nerf, but people want to jump on Johnny Cage. I just think that's funny. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.